everybody. Just one heads up, we're going to hopefully have some automated messaging on public health guidelines. And so when that starts happening, I want to give you enough heads up that might hopefully soon. Also, for tabulators, your job is to tabulate, not object. You are not to separate ballots because you think they should be separated ever. That's not your job. So please stop doing that. And managers, make sure it doesn't happen. Thank you.
Sorry to try to.
Hey, we're moving along.
Sorry to try to like tell your team what to do, but I asked Diane, can I take Karen?
Yep. I can take some stuff.
Okay. Back on the record. This is a in-person ballot that was remade, but it's missing the second initial. It had two initials on the bad ballot, so it should have had the second initial.
Agreed. But you are agreeing that it was remade correctly?
Correct.
So we were zero on that because you see it was on second. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is fine. 3-0. Thanks.
This is still City of Madison Ward 1 for you.
I'm trying to be consistent and not wait.
No, that's fine.
Jim. Last name is Burgess.
This was on, what was it?
E-R.
I could just run it over there.
I-C-K. And I'm the deputy clerk for the city of Madison.
Okay. I'd like you to go ahead and describe what happened here, and then the voters can make their comments.
Sure. So why don't we wait? We got to grab.
I may, if we have like standard ones, I may just tell Joyce and so she's
This
not
one
to get
is
up.
unusual.
Yeah, no.
But
We're just
you're
saying going
totally
forward.
agree with
But standard ones, I understand.
that. Yeah.
So this ballot was dropped at a drop box outside of our building, the city county building. It's not maintained by us. It's mostly used for treasurer payments. So we do not have access to check this by 8 p.m. on election day. It was probably last checked late afternoon or early afternoon before the treasurer's office closed. They checked it the next morning, the day after the election, and found this ballot, gave it to us at 9:30 a.m. And so we like this ballot.
You said it was a drop box outside?
But it was a drop box mostly for payments for invoices and stuff for city licenses. And sometimes throughout prior to the election, people had dropped their ballots off there. It's not a drop box we publicize to use, but people have been using it.
All right, so this is an envelope containing an uncounted ballot, and we object to it because the voter deposited this in a location that was not a designated drop box. So it's voter error. It was untimely, and it was not properly delivered to the clerk.
I have a question for Jim. So Jim, I think I know which drop box you're talking about. Was there signage on it that it was not for ballots? I think there was.
I don't believe there's signage on it that's not for ballots. I'd have to keep that.
Because I think there was. If it was the city, not the county, right? The city drop box, not the county drop box.
It's a city drop box,
Okay.
yes.
And then two, the one real problem I have is we don't know whether it was dropped off at midnight. There's no ability to know whether it was midnight or 7 or anything, right? So it could have been late.
Is the drop box outside on the street?
Yes.
It's outside, just outside of our exterior doors.
So if there was like some other piece of evidence, like we have a video of it happening,
camera?
but
I don't know if there's a camera.
we could.
I don't. Yeah. We could.
Well, we could. Yeah. It also wasn't it wasn't one of the designated drop boxes for ballots that the city said where you could drop them. So.
And our position would be that the voter made every intent to cast their vote properly.
Sure.
They did apparently commit an error.
Yeah. Joyce, you're a no on it.
Yeah.
Alan, you're a yes. I'm going to say no. If we're still in this recount and you can provide more evidence, this is still here. We can revisit it, but right now do not open it and do not count it. Okay. Also, Jim, if you could see whether that had what was written on it, find that out for me.
Okay.
That would help for other ones to make more.
Okay. I think this is the only one that was like that. That was in that Dropbox. Thanks.
I'll just print it off on the phone, that's okay. Yeah. Sorry, she's gonna testify.
Yes.
That's Jim again. Jim again, perfect? Jim again.
Jim Burbick,
Thank you. We need to do this though.
Got one thing first.
Yeah, let's do this one
Okay,
thing first.
let's knock this one out.
Right now, if you slow down, because then I can walk away.
Back on the record. Okay. The issue with this is that the original ballot that was made is lacking the 2 initials when it was remade, and then they did initial the new one. That's the issue.
Okay, and they're the same.
They're the same.
Okay. That's a 2-1. Okay.
Sure, is this a 2-1 or 3-0? I can't remember, Joyce. I think they remade it correctly. Sorry about that.
Can't get it. I've had enough trouble with this today.
Here, let me listen to this.
Oh, the reason is they did Biden, and that messes up the machine. So it's a Biden. It's fine.
Give me a kick across the room. I'll bring it down. Oh, no problem.
The voter didn't make any mistake at all. Well, they did, but we remade it. Do you want just 2-1 or 3-0? It doesn't matter to me.
Where's the initials that are?
They should have initialed this, but they did this correctly.
You said they covered it up. I don't understand.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I'm just. So this one, when they keep writing in people, they think it makes it. They think it helps, which it doesn't. They did it all over the place. But we can tell voter intent that they want Biden. So under Wisconsin law, this is a vote for Biden. They're not objecting to that idea. So what they're not happy about is that this should have been initial, and it wasn't. This was, but we can see they actually transferred it correctly. Up to you.
She might be on this one.
Sure. Okay. This is 2-0-1. Joyce just wants to abstain on this one, but it's fine, okay?
This is fine. You're
Yes.
gonna be comfortable.
You can say abstained.
Yeah, I know
It was
that
just
part.
it was just an explanation.
That's what I want to know. Thanks for taking it down.
It's okay.
There's no
Thanks.
problem between us. Thank you. If there is, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Back up. No idea what this is.
Both of those. One was
In my mind, it should never have been remade.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
In my mind, it should never have been remade because the initials originally. I mean, how does it put in initials in the second copy make it any more valid or any more legal? That's my question. I don't know.
You ready?
Can I go ahead and, what exhibit numbers are we on, do you know?
I think you guys are at like 21.
Better to
14. Oh, no, it's the other Biden's were at 21. 14?
Do you know?
Yeah.
14? Okay, can I go ahead and pre-label these? Can you give me
How
a
many do you have?
14 and a 15? I only got 2. I'm about to go. I'm about to hear a lot of that right now about all of this stuff. Sorry, Scott. We're trying to get this done. Thank you so much. I'm gonna label it. So I'm labeling the one sheet 14. I'm gonna label the big one 15. Are you ready to go?
I am.
Are you guys ready?
Scott, are you ready?
Okay. All right. If you guys could listen up real quick. This is Ren Williams. Okay. Okay, if you guys could listen up real quick. This is Ren Williams, part of the Trump lawyer team, and we're going to address an issue that's popped up and obviously given a lot of people concern. So I really wanted to do this on the record and enter some exhibits here. So what we have seen is that on a lot of these ballots, there's been the same initials, but many different styles of handwriting and many different styles of crossing them out and correcting them and things like that. What I've been told by clerks is that there were volunteers and also deputized clerks to help with this. I have one of the clerks here. They have provided me 2 lists. One list, which I've identified as Trump 14, has a list of all clerks or deputy clerks that are on the payroll that helped with this. Is that correct? This Trump 14 is for people who were hired specifically for in-person absentee voting and insisting in that. The second list I have is pre-marked Trump 15, and it's a larger list, and this is said registration for drive-up/walk-up absentee ballot helper, and it gives dates and times that they checked in and started and helped. Is that correct? Okay, and I'm going to have to ask you to come up here on the record later. So what we are going to do, here is instead of pulling every single ballot that was cast in the city of Madison, we're going to continue to only look for the issues that we had stated previously, specifically no initials whatsoever. That will give us a count on how many ballots can be removed from the total ballot count that has already been provided to us. So that will be an easy way to set aside and object to any ballot that has been marked with these initials. The Trump's team's concern is that we don't know who was doing the marking. And so it's impossible for us to identify which one of these deputized, paid, unpaid individuals were allowed to do it under law. I think you guys can see my argument. You want to do it? You can do it. Co-counsel is trying to make sure I understand what I'm talking about, which is totally fair. Wouldn't you guys agree?
You know what? Let me just ask you a few questions to clarify what these lists actually mean. Okay, you said these were people who were hired for in-person absentee voting. When you hire them, are they deputized?
I'll have to look at what we have them sign.
Okay, and so do they have to sign, do they have to give an oath and bond at the time of hiring?
I'll have to look into that.
Okay, so at this time, to the best of your knowledge, these are just employees. Okay, and is that the same? And by the way, we were referring to, without my glasses, Exhibit 14, Trump Exhibit 14, and then for Trump Exhibit 15, are these the people listed on this exhibit the exact same? They're employees, or are they different in some way?
Those are people who are normally functioning as our election officials, and they have absolutely signed the oath of election official.
Okay, so as far as you are concerned, Exhibit 15, this list is elected officials. That's a different title.
Election officials. Yes,
Okay.
poll workers.
And election officials, to your understanding, take the oath and bond at the time of their hiring.
Who signed the oath.
Okay. And who does that? Who does this hiring for Exhibit 15? Is that each individual clerk's office, or is that done at a city level?
That's done at the clerk's office, yes. City clerk.
City clerk. Okay, so this would come, Scott, from you, these people? City, got it, okay. All right, that's what I needed to know. Thank you very much.
So to finish this up, we're going to stop pulling every single ballot. And that's what I wanted to use the microphone to help clearly disseminate that through everybody's information right now, all of our servers. Okay? So thank you for hearing us on that. Oh, do you guys already have copies?
No, we've got our folder